What's up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see by the title today, I am back with another girl talk video, and today this is actually going to be my first girl talk video, clearly by myself. And you know, when I was kind of working through my plan for videos for this month, I knew I definitely wanted to do a girl talk video. I wanted something real, raw, as always. Again, you guys can see me here, barefaced. I've got a hat on today because I actually am masking my hair. You guys can see in a bun, so real raw and natural in today's video, which I thought would be really great for kind of just the topic for today and what I wanted to discuss and talk about anyways, which again, you guys can see by the title is self-love. Self-love, self-praise, self-preservation. I think it is so important to really spend time and devote time daily, weekly, monthly, and, you know, overall throughout our time here, you know, in this humanly body temple vessel to really focus on yourself and spend a lot of time, you know, kind of reflecting inward and making sure that you are pouring into yourself the same way we pour into a lot of the other, you know, nonsense going on in the world. So I wanted to just kind of sit down today and kind of talk with you guys a little bit on, I don't want to say tips and tricks, because I think that sometimes can get really gimmicky, and I don't think there's anything gimmicky about learning to love yourself and really push yourself forward to be the best that you can be. And, you know, being a young woman, I don't have all the answers, which I think is fine, and I think that's the beauty of life. But, you know, I figured out some things along the way on my own, from my parents, my mom and dad being such great influences, aunts and uncles, cousins, peers, you know, just a lot of people that have been great influences on my life that have helped me realize, you know, what's important and how to truly reflect inward and make sure that you are, you know, giving yourself the best that you deserve. So nothing too crazy today, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this conversation. Definitely, you know, grab a drink, grab some tea, maybe a couple snacks, and let's jump right in. So as I mentioned, definitely wanted to touch on, you know, self-love. And I don't have necessarily an outline or, you know, tips and tricks that are going to pop up on the screen, but I think it's important for us, especially as women, to continue to create a space where, you know, we can kind of just be there for one another, be a shoulder to lean on, be a sounding board that you could come to, and hopefully have someone be that light for you and tell you, you know, you are the bomb, you're that bleep expletive, you're just that woman and you're that boss. And I know a lot of times it's hard for us to be that chipper person every single morning that wakes up and automatically feels great. I know for all of us, even myself, I don't wake up that way every day. I don't wake up feeling super confident all the time. And I know sometimes people meet me and I've done a really good job, I like to think, of giving off that impression all the time. And not to lie and sit here and say I'm not confident. I am confident, but I want to share with you guys and be vulnerable and tell all of you that, you know, I wasn't always like this. It takes time, it takes practice, and I truly believe all of us can find that happy place where you truly do feel confident in yourself. And I kind of wanted to start off with saying one big thing that that I think helped get me to this point is affirmations. And I know it sounds cliche. I know a lot of people talk about it. I mean, you could probably grab any self-help book out there, watch many other videos on YouTube, and we'll tell you the same thing. But for me personally, with my own experience, I can tell you affirmations have been a huge help. I am really adamant about, you know, always making sure to amp myself up. I cheered pretty much most of my life. You know, a lot of us spend our time being actual cheerleaders, professional cheerleaders, or a cheerleader for somebody else, and never really devote the time to be that cheerleader for you and for yourself. And again, not to get super gimmicky, but it's literally important, and it's honestly that. It's being a cheerleader for yourself and making sure that at the same time, while you are making sure to praise and build everyone else up and remind them how great they are, I think it's really important to be sure to do that for yourself as well. And everyone's different. You know, some of us might be and this might not be the best example, but you know, we might be Gabrielle Union's character, Mary Jane, and being Mary Jane who does the sticky notes everywhere. You know, we might be the person that in the mirror every morning you are reciting something, maybe a poem or a quote from, you know, some of our, you know, fearless women in our lives or in the world that pushes you through. It may be, you know, for me, I write. I enjoy writing. I love singing. I love producing. I love doing anything that makes me feel creative and artsy. So that's how I pour into myself and making sure I can be a cheerleader for me. So I think it is really important for all of us to take that time. Be selfish with your time. Don't be afraid to say, no, actually today I'm having a me day and I'm focusing on something for me. Because I think especially for us women, especially for us Black women, we are constantly showing up for everyone else. And I think we put, not even I think, I know we put ourselves on the back burner quite a bit. And that's definitely something I always like to tell my friends, my cousins, my peers, everyone watching this. Be sure to be your own cheerleader. Be there for you first. You are all deserving. You deserve it as well. And, you know, it's kind of funny. I was chatting with a couple friends today, and one of my really good friends, Ashley, that I went to college with, you know, she said something to me, and it was like such a light bulb went off. And she said, you know, we spend so much time and energy and money in other frivolous things. If we had just spent that much time and energy in ourselves, it would be amazing to see the benefits we could reap from that. And again, I mean, it wasn't anything like astounding, you know, she didn't tell me anything out of the ordinary that I didn't already know. But just from the way she phrased it, I thought that was a great way to think about it. You know, you think about the fact of we'll go out there and we will spend thousands of dollars on makeup and skincare and hair products and clothing. And again, don't get me wrong, y'all could see a girl went and got her nails done, okay? So I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling real cute. Just a couple videos ago, I was showing you guys new clothes I just bought. And I'm always talking about skincare. So I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it was just so interesting for her to phrase it that way. Because again, especially for us women, I think if we just took a step back and thought about that $5 that we spent on that extra eyeliner because we think that's what we need to make us feel better. If you had just deposited that $5, deposited that money, deposited that energy and time back into yourself, you know, how much more positive you might feel. And by no means this is to make anyone feel bad and say, oh, I'm not pouring into myself, because again, guys, I am not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to put myself first. And, you know, I had been feeling this way the last couple months, several weeks, again, with the climate of our world right now, that I felt it was important for me to sit down today and film this with you guys and let you know, be your own cheerleader. Is it a blessing and, you know, icing on top that we have other people in our lives that can do that for us? Absolutely. But ain't nobody gonna amp you up and tell you the baddest like the way you can tell yourself. And let me tell you guys, I have my moments, okay? I already know I'm looking fly. I already know my friends are gonna tell me I'm cute. But when I have that little moment and I look in the mirror and I get it from me, from Nora, there ain't nothing you can tell me, because once I've got that secure in my heart and in place, I know already. And I'm secure in myself and knowing that. And again, guys, it took time. It took time for me to be built up this way. It took time for me to understand how to pour into myself. And I know it's within all of us. And I think all of us can definitely achieve that as well. And even going along with, you know, spending money on makeup, skincare, clothes, I still think that's important as well. I think it's important to wine and dine yourself. I think it is important to date yourself. I think a lot of times for women, we put so much of an emphasis, whether it's coming from our family, whether it's coming from, not even whether, it definitely comes from society, but we put so much of an emphasis on ourselves and so much pressure on ourselves to mold the woman we're going to be in the future for our partner and for someone else. Now, absolutely, I think that's important. And I think it's beautiful to become that person for whoever that soulmate is out there. I think that's beautiful. But, you know, as I've mentioned in other Girl Talk videos and, you know, different things in the past, I think it is important to date yourself first. I think it is important to fall in love with yourself first. And by no means am I saying this in a narcissistic, self-absorbed type of way, because obviously anything in excess, definitely becomes a problem. But I think it's beautiful, especially as women, I can't obviously speak from a man's standpoint, but as a woman, to truly love the woman you are, the skin you're in, and every ounce of our being and fiber, I think that's important. And I think that is what will help us as women progress in, all aspects of life, whether it's our careers, it's personal development, whether it's relationships with significant others and partners. I think once you get to a place where you can truly love who you are, and again, none of us are perfect, sometimes trying to obtain, that perfectionist type of level can definitely drive you insane. But when you really can focus on dating yourself, and when I say date yourself, go get your nails done. Pamper yourself. If you love just sitting at home and organizing because it brings you a sense of happiness and fulfillment, do that. I've gotten to a point, and actually my cousin, you guys have seen her, on my channel quite a few times. She's my rider, like we already said, the yin to my yang. My cousin Felicite always talks about, she even pencils in her calendar and weekly schedules, time that she devotes just to herself. And some days during that time block, if it's a nap you need, girl, take a nap. If it's just you wanting to do your nails at home, do that. If you just want to sit and watch a chick flick and cry your eyes out with a pint of ice cream in front of you, do that. And I think it is okay to do that. And I think it's important for us as women to remember to date yourself. Date yourself, love yourself, and continue to do that. Because as we progress and we become, the beautiful women that we are destined to be, things will change. The outside world is ever evolving, and we are evolving as well. And the same way that in a relationship with your partner and significant other, you will devote date night to do that with your significant other, I think it's important to devote I'm sure you guys see where I'm going here, date night with yourself, so that's something as well that I think, along with, my daily or weekly or monthly affirmations, I am very big on dating myself, spending some quality time with myself, switching it up and making sure you allow yourself to be a priority. And I think it's important that you remember you are a priority in your life. You're important. And the same way you prioritize a lot of other people and other matters, it's important to make sure that you are remembering you're a priority as well. You deserve the same amount of energy. You deserve the same amount of love. You deserve the same amount of development and attention. And I think if you continue to date yourself through our life here on earth, I think it's endless, to see what you really can achieve if you really are, watering that seed and continuing to, nurture the woman, we're all destined to be. It's interesting too, because our trials, tribulations, whether again, in work, personal development, careers, in school, with friends, they teach us a lot about other people and how to move forward in our careers, how to move forward in school. You compete, whether it's in a sport, you're a dancer, a cheerleader, you failed in a competition, and now you know what to do moving forward. I think it's important for us to also look inward and realize, as you are developing and nurturing that relationship with yourself and continuing to love yourself, that it is important to go back and analyze those moments as well. Look at those trials and understand, okay, where did I maybe falter? Where did I kind of lose my step? And I think of oftentimes, and again, I can't speak for everyone, but at least for me, a lot of times I've noticed if I did go through some things, I somewhere along the way lost a sense of myself. Lost a sense of myself, lost a sense of who I am and who I know I am and who I'm destined to be. And, on the reverse, even in my, my tribulations, I can also see, I was true to who I was. I was true to who I am, whether I did it by myself, whether it was a team effort, whether I had help. It's interesting to kind of reflect on those moments and realize maybe where those missteps have been, where maybe you weren't really, giving yourself the energy and the time and devotion that you needed to. So analyze those things, analyze those moments, analyze, any of these things that have happened in your life. And it's not to say that, for every trial that you have, bad that you were at fault or did something. Absolutely not. But I think every moment in our life, whether a trial or a tribulation, is definitely a learning moment. And speaking specifically to self-love, self-adoration, and nurturing that relationship with yourself, I think in order to continue to build that confidence, it's important to look at these moments and realize, was I doing that for me? Was I happy at the end of that for me? Because I'll tell you guys, even in some of my tribulations, I wasn't, because I realized I wasn't pouring into that for me. I was pouring into it because I was more focused on someone else's happiness. I was more focused on the overall group satisfaction rather than my own. And that's crazy sometimes to sit there and think, well, I should be happy, but you knew you gave a piece of yourself for this group or this overset happiness. So even in those moments, I think it's important. And again, as women, as Black women, we sacrifice so much of ourselves, so much for ourselves, that I think, hold on guys, I'm sorry. Ooh. Sorry guys, I was getting a little emotional there. Somebody turned the allergies on in my room, so apologize for that. But yeah, man, I think, especially as Black women, we sacrifice so much. Look at me, I'm like all over the place, but we sacrifice so much of ourselves, and so much of our happiness and our personal development and love and adoration for ourselves, that I think it is very important to analyze all of those moments, the ones that were super happy, some of our sad moments, again, those trials, those tribulations, and make sure you're doing it for you. Make sure you're doing it for you, with those tribulations, and obviously with any downfalls or trials that we're going through. Was my heart in it? Was I not doing it for me? Is that a reason why? Was God speaking to me at that moment and letting me know whatever that was that I thought that blessing was for me, it wasn't for me and didn't serve me? And I think with that all encompassing, really just focusing on, again, dating yourself, loving yourself, pampering yourself, being there for yourself, being your own cheerleader, and those daily affirmations. I think I don't have it all figured out, guys, by any means necessary. I'll be 29 this year. I feel like I've learned some things, but I don't have all the answers. But I knew it would be selfish of me to continue on this journey to becoming the badass woman that I know I am, and not share, what's helped me along the way, and hopefully, help some of you guys as well. So I know this video might have been all over the place, but I wanted it to be real. I wanted it to be raw. I wanted you guys to sit here with me in my bedroom and, kind of feel what I've been feeling. And yeah, I love you guys. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been having so much fun here on YouTube, and I'm glad that a lot of you guys have been enjoying it as well. But with that being said, I miss you guys, and I will see you in my next video.